Hi everyone, this is Random Chat, and today's chat is coming from my summer house, and it's going to be about a subject which I have spoken about on many times, which is how unsafe Britain has become. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is a bit too close for comfort here in Wiltshire. To start off, I'm going to talk about a black guy, a migrant, who decided to walk into an elderly person's house. It is said that this guy, from a local hotel which housed migrants, and that he claimed he was being chased, but there's no evidence to back this up as far as I'm aware. It was reported that he decided to walk straight into this elderly person's house. What happened next, I do not know, because there wasn't much information on what I was reading at the time. But as far as I'm aware, nothing really happened. The next part of the video that I was watching on YouTube regards to this guy when he was walking down the street, in which two British people placed him under a citizen's arrest. Whilst filming him, this person wanted to hide his identity by covering up his face. Now, if he was an innocent person, why would he need to hide his face? The police then was called, but to no surprise, the police didn't want to know. There was no charge. Because he hadn't committed a criminal offence, there was nothing they were going to do about it. Technically, yes, he had carried out an act of trespass, which is not a criminal offence, it is a civil offence. But it's the fact that he decided to let himself into an elderly person's house. That is the concerning part of it all. What was his intentions? At present, nobody knows. But this just shows you how unsafe this country has started to become, with all these illegal immigrants, migrants, asylum seekers here in Britain being housed within our hotels. Now, technically, if that was one of us, a British person, who decided to walk straight into somebody's house, uninvited, such as this person did, the police would place us under arrest and question us just to find out what our intentions were. Because he was a migrant, they decided they will do nothing about it. So does this make us feel safe here in this country, hearing news like that? And I think truthfully the answer is no, we don't feel safe. We have these migrants coming to this country on a day-to-day basis, carrying out criminal offences on a regular basis. Yes, this person committed a civil offence, but it's still the fact that he walked into somebody's house uninvited. And as we can't see here about women being sexually harassed and raped by these migrants, children being raped, harassed and followed on a regular basis, it's no surprise that we are getting very concerned about what's going on. And the fact that we have no faith within the police force, because they seem to be turning a blind eye to what's going on here in Britain. But one of the things they did add, regards to information on this migrant entering this elderly person's house, was the fact that there was a woman arrested. Totally nothing to do with this migrant, but because she was a protester and that she had assaulted a security guard. Now, I think it's more of a concern about this migrant just walking into somebody's house, really, isn't it? But as we all know, things like this are seemingly brushed under the carpet and forgotten about, because the legal system, the police and our government does not want us to know about what's really going on here in Britain. And this wasn't an isolated incident. We hear about it all the time. You've only got to look at the incident that happened in Epping, when a 15-year-old girl was approached by an Ethiopian, an asylum seeker based in the hostel near the school, in which he attempted to assault this girl. Then there was a 12-year-old girl who was raped by an Afghan, and so on and so on. These offences being carried out by immigrants here in Britain are not isolated. They are a regular occurrence, and the British people are getting fed up with it. But the only issue is when we speak out about what's going on here, the finger of far right and racist gets pointed at us. There is also the aspect we cannot really say anything about what's going on. You've only got to watch my last video, in which an elderly gentleman was basically told he could be arrested for asking somebody to speak clear English. It is a case we have to tolerate what's going on here in Britain. It's like it or lump it. So yes, I do believe that living in Britain now is a very unsafe place to be. But what is more worrying, these incidences are not being carried out just in our major cities and our big major towns. I live 5 miles from a small town called Chippenham here in Wiltshire. And today, the 16th of August, at 9:15, in Lidl supermarket, a woman was sitting in her car, in which a black person approached her car, banging on the window and shouting and waving his arms at her. When she ignored him, it said he got more aggressive, regards to shouting at her. She then got out of her car and walked into the supermarket, which this person followed her, harassing her, continuously asking for her name. The more she ignored him, the more aggressive he became, shouting. Now technically, she should have either phoned the police or called for a member of staff, but she just ignored him, decided to leave the shop and go back to her car, in which he followed her. It was then said that this person went to the passenger side of her car and attempted to try and get in the car, in which she was shouting at him, and eventually he decided to run away. And this was all carried out in a town not too far away from me, a town that I have spoken about in recent videos, in which the African population there has started to grow rapidly. So this harassment on British women is not just isolated to larger areas. It is happening all over the country. It is happening 5 miles away from me. Going downtown, which is a small market town that I live in, it is a regular occurrence to see Muslims or African-based people walking around the town centre now. If you asked me 2 years ago, have I ever seen any Muslims or any African-based people here in my small town, the answer would be no. Now it's a regular occurrence, because these people are spreading right across the whole of Britain. And along with them also comes the crime, the harassment, the assaults. No, I'm not saying all of these people coming to this country are breaking the law, but there are quite a few who are breaking the law within our country. Like I've spoken about in one of my previous videos about Epping, this Ethiopian guy was in this country 2 days, and he was charged with 3 offences of assault against young girls. And there are a number of cases in which these people are only in this country a very short time, and they end up carrying out assault on British women or British young girls. And then you have the police wondering why that we, the British people, are out on the streets protesting against what's going on here in Britain. Things are getting out of control, and the police are not really doing much about it. And the control of our borders, well, that is just non-existent. Yes, people like Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister, may try convincing us that he is going to start to try controlling our borders, but 1, we all know he's lying. He's not going to do anything about controlling our borders. And 2, it's too late. There are so many here now. The damage has been done to this country. There are so many of these illegal migrants here walking around our streets, putting the British people at risk. If Keir Starmer wants to do something positive regards to all these issues within this country, then I think he needs to start sending them all back to where they come from. Then maybe people might take him serious. But the only problem is, Keir Starmer is a liar. And there's evidence of this all throughout his whole career. He has been caught out many times saying one thing and then totally saying something totally different. So we know Keir Starmer cannot be trusted in what he says. And we know he's not going to do anything about all the issues in this country. And our British police force, well, they are no use to us whatsoever. They're quite happy to threaten an elderly man with arrest for a hate crime, which was asking somebody to speak clearer or slower English. But when you have people, Palestinians, preaching hatred towards Israel, here in Britain, the police aren't willing to do anything about it. Palestinians preaching hatred towards Israel is not a hate crime. Asking somebody to speak clearer English or slower English, that is a hate crime. So you can understand why British people are starting to get very frustrated, simply because of the whole 2-tier system. The 2-tier system in which Keir Starmer will tell you doesn't exist, and the police will tell you it doesn't exist. But when we see one rule for them and one law for us, the British, it's very evident there is a 2-tier system. It is quite concerning now, regards to our future here in Britain, along with the safety of the British people, because the British culture is being destroyed, and British women and children are no longer safe to be on the streets on their own. And with the ever-growing Muslim community here in Britain, British women are definitely not safe, because in part of the Quran, I believe it states that a woman bearing flesh is basically asking for it. And this was why Muslim men seem to think they have the rights to rape British women, along with British young schoolgirls, because they don't cover all their arms and all their legs, and because they may be showing some cleavage, they are clearly fair game for sexual assaults, because in the eyes of Islam, they are asking for it. They deserve it. There are so many people coming here with medieval mentality. They are bringing their dark age ways here, civilized Western world. And we, the British people, have to be diverse and accept this. And this is totally wrong. And it is very clear that in 2025, living in Britain is no longer a safe place to be. especially if you're a woman or a young girl. Because we have seen many cases in which young girls have been raped by migrants, and the reason for this is simply because of what I've just said. They are showing too much flesh. If you don't like the Western world and our ways, then you are living in the wrong country. It is not our place to adapt to your way of life, but we are being told we should be diverse. And the answer to that is no, we shouldn't be. This is our country. We are willing to accept anyone here in Britain as long as you do it the right way and you will respect our laws and our culture. But if you're going to come here and invade it, try taking it away from us, placing British women at risk and placing our children at risk, then we are not going to accept you. And as we have seen most recently, right across our cities, of vast numbers of people out protesting, waving the British flag, the Union flag, along with the George Cross, the English flag, because simply we are sick and tired of what's going on here in Britain. And like I have said in the past, if this government, Labour, is not too careful, there will be bloodshed, because things will start getting violent. It's going to get to the stage where there is a tipping point for the British people. There is only so far you can push the British people. Eventually they will take no more, and they will fight for their rights. And one of the things the British people are good at is defending their land. You've only got to look at British history. People have came here and they have challenged us many times over the centuries, and each time we fought back, and we are still British. So what that means is the British people, when they go to war, we go to war to win. So as we all know, this country is being invaded and the British people are being put at risk. So if we do go to war, we will take this country back. And I think the vast majority of us would rather have a peaceful end rather than a civil war. Because at the end of the day, innocent people are going to get hurt. This could be avoided. So Keir Starmer, you seriously need to start listening to the British people and start hearing what we're saying. Because if you don't take control, the British people will at some point. All the British people want is to be able to live here in our own country safely. We don't want to keep hearing on YouTube, on Facebook, about sexual assaults on women, on children. We don't want to hear about all these illegal migrants doing this and doing that, and then knowing that the press, the television, all keep it quiet because they don't want you knowing the truth. They're hoping if they brush it all under the carpet, it will go away. But the issues are not going away here in Britain. They're getting worse. And as more and more of these migrants keep flooding here on a day-to-day basis, things are going to progress even worse than what they are now. So it's time the government wakes up and starts seeing how concerned the British people are, and stop pointing the finger at them and calling them racist or far right, because they are not this. They just want to be heard and know that the people running this country are listening. And at the moment we know none of these people are listening to us, the British people. They have no interest in our concerns and our worries. So that's it for this video. If you want to add some comments to what I've said and let me know what you think about what's going on in Britain. Let me know if you're concerned about our future, or if it doesn't bother you what is happening. Hit that subscribe button and help my channel grow. And also, if you like my videos, give them the thumbs up. So that's it now for this video, and thank you for watching. And like I said, hit that subscribe button and help my channel grow. Click that notification bell and give this video a thumbs up, and go check out all my other videos. And before I end, if you can hear some snoring in the background, that's because it's my Jack Russell on the floor down there, fast asleep, snoring. He's an old boy now, he's 16 years old. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'm Random Chat, and stay safe. And until my next video, it's goodbye for now.